Hello! Today let's talk about cameras. If you want to play any game, you will need a camera. It can be either full 3D camera, it can be isometric, or it can be a 2D camera. There are several ways you can check what camera is going to see. So the first one is if you select camera. In our case it's a main camera. Unity will show you a little preview, which might be not very convenient. So what I like to do instead, if that's a game camera, then if you switch to game tab, you will see exactly what camera is going to see. And let's drag it at the bottom part so we always can have a preview. If you notice, as I collapse this tab, camera preview also changes. So you can see how wide this camera is at the moment. And then when I change my display ratio, you see that it updates camera preview. This is not exactly desired behavior because you want to target some resolution, and that is specifically important when you're working with iOS platform or Android. You just want to keep your aspect ratio under control. Moving forward, you can see that currently it's free aspect. And then you can switch it to 5x4, 4x3, or 16x10, 16x8. You can also add another aspect ratio, and let's set it to fixed resolution and set it to 1920 to 1080. Let's press OK. And now you can see that no matter what I do, the camera preview always stays at the same aspect ratio. Now we're finally ready to talk about cameras. One of the most interesting parameters is projection. Here you can select whether the camera is going to be perspective. You can see that these buildings, they become smaller the further away they are from the camera. And if we switch projection to orthographic, so if you want to make some sort of city building game like SimCity or something of that kind, this is orthographic projection, which is also can be like isometric. So buildings, no matter how far they are from the camera, they stay same size. One thing to keep in mind, if you move camera away or further, it doesn't matter at all. If we switch to perspective, then if camera comes closer, then obviously objects become bigger. Another interesting thing is field of view. So what is field of view and how does it react? Basically, it defines how much is going to fit in our camera frustum. So this sector is a camera frustum. If we increase field of view, you can see that it's growing, and then we can fit it more objects. If we decrease it, that means we can fill in less, like smaller amount. One thing to keep in mind is that the narrower is field of view, the more like flat objects will appear. If some of you are into photography, you know that you want to have wide lens when you are taking landscape photos, but for portrait you want a little bit narrower. Let's see how field of view works with the characters. So for portrait you usually want to have a little bit narrower field of view. This way you have less distortion, so it's better for portrait photography. If you have a very wide lens, so when we move in, there is just so much distortion. So you can see on this model's nose, like that's why you don't want to have a very wide lens when taking portrait photography. You want something narrower, like so, and then you just keep yourself away from the model. This way it looks much better. And this is due to clipping planes. If we bring back all our buildings, and let's move our camera away, and now you can make use of near clipping plane, which will start cutting off buildings which are closer than a specified distance, which is currently like 8 meters. Or you can also clip buildings which are further than specified distance. Our clipping plane will start going closer to camera, and everything which is further than that would not be rendered. This might be useful if you just have a very big landscape with so many objects and you just want to hide those objects which are just way too far to gain some performance, then this can be useful. If, for example, you're making a first-person shooter and then your weapon gets cut off, then just adjust near clip in plane. Now to conclude our lesson, let's make a short camera animation fly through these buildings. Let's go to Animation tab, open it up here. And now create animation, camera fly through, disable recording, position our camera, increase field of view because this is like a landscape kind of shot. And we are ready to start recording. Go to 5-second mark and then move our camera somewhere here and a little bit lower. Let's play back and see what we are getting here. So the first issue is that our camera goes through the building, which is undesirable. So let's go to with the 0.5-second mark and adjust our camera position and adjust rotation as well. Now let's see what we are getting. It's a little bit better, and then we are again going right through the building in here. So what we can do, we can go to the frame not far from the one where we are going through the building and then move camera a little bit out of the way. This is better. Now let's go to the 10-second mark and just fly our camera like so. Let's give it a quick look what we are getting. Okay, not bad. Here we are going through the building. So let's just move our camera a little bit on the y-axis so we are not going through the buildings anymore. Let's give it a go. Okay, this looks alright. You may notice that animation is a little bit unnatural, like especially in here. Press play so that we can see how it looks on a bigger screen. All good. And at this point there is a little bit unnatural. This is because of the animation curves, and we will take a look at the animation curves on the next lesson, but for now I will just show you where they are. So in the animation window here you can see we have a dope shade view and there is also a curves view. So curves view looks like this, and each curve represents one axis. So this is animation on x-axis, this is on y, and this is on z, and same for rotation. So in the next lesson we are going to fix this like problem of camera behaving a little bit unnatural. Alright, cool. I hope this is useful for you, and please leave your feedback in the comments and see you next time. Cheers!